You're live on News at Prime, and we continue now with your reporting. South Africans were this week outraged after the news emerged of a bystander who had been shot dead, allegedly by police during a student protest over university fees. According to the authorities, the 35-year-old man was struck twice by rubber bullets and succumbed to his injuries. To talk to us about the issues of financial exclusion and access to free education for students, I'm joined now by Libongo Mvana from Equal Education Post-School Youth Members Organization. Good to have you with us, Libongo, and thank you very much for your time.
Thank you so much for having me.
First and foremost, talk to me about what the Equal Education Post-School Youth Membership Organization does as far as the role that you play in supporting the activism of the youth in this current time of dealing with matters of exclusion and free higher education.
Okay, so basically EE Post-School Youth organizes and supports learners from high school in terms of getting better education, and yeah, so basically we fight for quality and equal education in high school, So and then now as the post-school youth, we also in solidarity with the students, because we want them to get free, quality, and equal and decolonized education. So basically, Tina, as EE, we reject all forms of tertiary exclusion, at whether it is financial or academic. So because we know that students need support, especially while facing challenges made worse by the COVID-19 pandemic. And we also believe that all students must register freely without no cost, because we want access to this tertiary education, as we want to improve and liberate our lives through it. We also understand that youth development cannot transpire if we are starved of human development and knowledge.
Now, Libongo, I note in your statement you say all students must be allowed to register at no cost. Are you saying all students across the board, even those with the means and the ability to pay for that registration, should be allowed to register at no cost?
No, obviously we're basically mostly focusing on the students that are underprivileged, that are from the working class, because we understand that the most people who are affected by access to education are people from the working class and lower. So we are advocating for them to get the same or equal education or quality education as other kids that can afford to enroll. And yeah.
Thinking critically about the issue of the funding of higher education in the country, the first question for you would be, do you believe that there is a real budget constraint? Or is it just a matter of the policy adopted by government of austerity that's creating the financial problems we are seeing? But also, in your own view, what is the root cause of this inability to fund free education?
Personally, I don't believe that there are budget constraints. Take, for example, how now NSFAS has announced that there is funding. There is a 4 billion, if I'm not mistaken, that has been provided towards the first year's enrolling. So I don't believe that they don't have the funding. I just think that they don't want, they corrupt, man, basically, because they don't want, the austerity budget is cutting down from everyone that is poor. They're taking down education, they're taking down also in the health department, they're also taking down in the grants, the social grants that people are getting. So I don't really think that it's out of budget constraints, but it's because they know that people will not do anything about it. They'll just allow them to walk over them, as they have been doing this whole time. Until now, obviously, because people are fighting and people are tired of what's happening, and we see it now. And especially now during COVID-19, we see that it is affecting us very badly because we're already under poverty here, not poverty, but like we're already underprivileged here in South Africa, the working class that is. And we see all of these things, and the politicians, they always come to us and they tell us, no, do this, do that, we'll do this for you. So I think, personally, the government is basically saying to us that we mustn't we won't reflect, no, not reflect, but we won't get back, or we won't voice out how we feel about it.
All right, Lebongo, I appreciate you. Thank you very much for joining us tonight. Equal Education Post-School Membership Organization there. That is Lebongo Mvana Express.